Joining us now from Capitol Hill, Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul. Senator, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You're on the Foreign Relations Committee, you're on the Health and Education Committee, the Homeland Security Committee. All of them are going to be hosting confirmation hearings this week. Let's start with your colleague, Senator Jeff Sessions, for Attorney General of the United States. Do you think he will be confirmed, and will you vote to confirm him?
Yes, on both fronts. I think it's unfair for people to, and actually very hurtful for people to say, oh, you're a racist, when there's no evidence in his public career that he has ever been racially insensitive. So I think it's a slander and very unfair for people to try to do that to someone. And I think he's going to do fine in the confirmation process.
On Wednesday, you'll be at a hearing for the Secretary of State designate, Rex Tillerson, the former ExxonMobil CEO. Have you spoken with him? What is your sense of that confirmation process? Are you likely to vote yay in favor of his confirmation?
You know, I've spoken with him privately. I think he's an impressive individual. I think he will always have America's interests first in negotiating with any country. And I think he will negotiate from a position of strength with the leadership of Donald Trump. So in that sense, yes, I'm favorably disposed. I will still ask questions during the public hearing because I think public answers are very important. I will ask the question of Mr. Tillerson, does he think the Iraq war was a mistake? Does he think regime change throughout the Middle East has made us safer or has made us less safe? So I will ask these questions because I think it's very important that we learn from the past couple of decades, particularly as we embark on the next couple of decades in the Middle East, particularly as we try to figure out what to do in Syria, whether or not we understand that the regime change in Iraq and Libya didn't make us safer and did not make the region more stable.
Does it bother you, Senator, that he's had a good relationship with Putin of Russia, in fact, received an award from Putin personally?
Well, I think so did a barber in Indiana. So a lot of people apparently have gotten that award. And I think when you're in business, your job is to be diplomatic, to try to get the best advantage for your company. And so it is for the company, the country you may be negotiating with. So in some ways, a business transaction are somewhat like diplomacy. You have to realize that your opponent across the table is an adversary, but you're also trying to find an agreement at which both parties can come away from the table feeling as if they won. So no, I think he'll be a skillful negotiator and a good diplomat. And I want somebody who's not a knee-jerk, gut reaction, let's, drop bombs on everybody. I want somebody who believes that war is the last answer. So in that sense, I think Tillerson's a good pick.
I want you to clarify exactly where you stand, and based on your conversation with Donald Trump, where he stands on repealing and replacing Obamacare, because my understanding is you don't want to repeal it until exactly that day. There is a plan in place to replace it, and you've said that Donald Trump is with you on that. Where exactly is he, and where are you?
As a physician, as an individual, as a patient, I'm very much opposed to Obamacare and think it's been a disaster for our country, and I will vote for repeal. I do think, though, that we should vote on replacement the same day. I'm putting together a bill. It's virtually completed. It will be full of the consensus opinions on replacement. Basically, that we need to ensure the most amount of people at the least amount of cost. It'll involve three main areas for replacement. One, that we legalize the sale of inexpensive insurance so everybody can buy it. We help people save so they can buy insurance through health savings accounts. And then we help individuals to associate with groups of individuals through health association plans so they can spread their risk and get a cheaper product. If you put those three market reforms together, as well as some tax changes, I think you can get something that virtually every Republican agrees to, but would also help soften the blow as we go from Obamacare to a more market-oriented type of industry again.
Because you've heard a lot of Republican leaders say, yes, you could quickly repeal it, but it could take 6 months, could take as much as a year to come up with a specific plan to replace it. In the phone conversation that you had with Donald Trump, what was the impression he left you? Where does he stand?
Well, I completely disagree with those who say we either don't have a plan or have to wait. There are about 50 replacement bills that have been out there for years. Congressman Tom Price, who's up for a cabinet position, about half the bills are his. There are consensus on at least 10, 15 different bills in Congress. So I think consensus is there. The bills have been written. Let's put them together and let's have a vote on replacement. With regard to the president, all I can tell you is he called and said he agreed with me. We ought to vote on replacement the same day we vote on repeal.
because a lot of the Republicans, they want to vote to repeal it on day one. They don't want to wait at all. They say, you know what, we'll have plenty of time to come up with a plan in the months that follow. You're totally opposed to that. And what I hear you saying is that the president-elect is totally opposed to that as well.
We have a replacement plan. We have 50 different bills out there. What I keep hearing people say...
But there's not just one plan, Senator.
That's what I mean.
We need one plan. If you have 50 plans, you got to put the best of it together. And the Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, says that could take 6 months.
No, well, I disagree completely. We have them out there, and there is a consensus position on the vast majority of what Republicans do for replacement. We're putting it together, and we will put it forward. I will do everything in my power to have a vote on it. The day we repeal Obamacare, I want to vote on replacement, and we'll see where I get with that. But there's a growing momentum, both among Senate Republicans and among House Republicans, that we should vote on replacement the same day we vote on repeal.
And will you, in the legislation that you will have to put it in legislation, will it require 60 votes? In other words, will Democrats who oppose the new plan, will they be able to filibuster requiring 60 votes?
For part of it, yes. I think you can do some replacement within the reconciliation, this arcane budget rules. You can do some replacement, but there needs to be a separate replacement bill. That's what I'm working on. It'll be out within 2 days. So we're not saying it's never coming. Within 2 days, I will have a bill that is the replacement bill, and then we'll go from there. But we should vote on both the same day.
Senator Rand Paul, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Wolf.